right. Happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday.
And welcome to the Back Catalog Listening Party. My name is Mother Banjo, one of your hosts.
My name is Anthony Ihrig, the other host.
And today we have...
Hello.
Hello.
Love that applause.
Welcome.
Well, the applause, it's coming through because folks are joining the party right on time. In fact, my mom joining us a minute early. She must be ready for Friday. Joining us from New Haven, Connecticut. Alan joining us from Texas, getting ready to get his booster shot. Right.
All right.
Right on, Alan. And Chris having a Uda pills. Oh, right.
Nice. Delicious.
Nice.
Hey, Chris.
And Joni joining us, and Connie from Richfield. Well,
hey,
hello, everybody. Oh, and Joanna looks like joining us from Chicago. So great to have you all joining us today. And if you're new to the show, this is where we invite different artists on to revisit old records. We have a drink together, we hang out, we talk about the songs. So feel free to let us know where you're tuned in from. If you're enjoying any beverage or snack on your Friday to kick off the weekend. And Tony, what are you drinking on this Friday?
I am drinking a Bell's Porter, and it says right here on the label, it's a robust porter. It's nice and cool here in the Twin Cities today. The leaves are turning, and it's just a perfect fall beer. How about you?
Nice. Well, it's a little chilly today. In fact, we fired up the heat in our house today for the first time. And so have a hot beverage. I have coffee with some Irish cream in it. So I won't tell you the ratio. But cheers. And then Megan, what are you enjoying?
I usually do IPA, but today I'm doing an old Northeast.
All right.
And I also have a snack, which is Wiley Wallabies. If you've ever had these, licorice, delicious.
Looks delicious.
Yes.
And Noah, the Birdwatcher.
Yes.
What are you enjoying?
I'm also having a Northeast, but I'm having it in a can. I'm cool in a can. I'm gonna
open it. Makes them unique. Yes.
And you guys, from what I gather, you're on you're east and west. You're one of you on the St. Paul side and one on the Minneapolis side, but right here in the Twin Cities metro. So welcome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And we're really excited to have you here. I've been wanting to have you on the show. In fact, I think we booked this out like sometime earlier this summer, and we're like, this is the date, we're free. So I'm so glad that we found, being a Friday, often you guys are pretty busy gigging musicians. So we're glad we found a date that worked out to revisit one of your old records. And a lot of folks probably know you from maybe your most recent record. You've also put out a few singles. Megan, you've been making music for a long time, but under various different names, which we'll talk more about.
Yes.
But maybe you could start off by talking, for folks who aren't as familiar with you and your music, kind of how you got started making music, where you're from, and how you fell into making music with Noah.
Yeah. So initially, I was mostly just a studio musician. I had a bit of a fear of singing in front of people and like stages and all that kind of stuff. So for a while, I was just doing studio work because I knew I loved singing. I wanted to do music, but it was just kind of a process of getting into the live stuff. So at first I was just doing Megan Lacey stuff and sang for a label that was over in Sweden, and wound up doing some cover songs for them that wound up getting pretty popular on Spotify, which is awesome. But then had more of an interest in writing my own original music and started kind of going down that road. But again, just me and myself was not, I'm a twin. So I think sometimes it might just be like in my inner workings that like, I feel like I can't do anything just by myself. So meeting Noah was perfect because he is a fantastic guitar player, really cool person to hang out with. And so we really just kind of hit it off and decided to, start writing some original songs and see kind of where it went. And here we are, really.
Nice.
And Noah, so how did you, first of all, where did you grow up, Noah? Do you grow up around here?
I did. I grew up just north of the cities in Chisago Lakes, Minnesota. People might know it because it's on the way to Taylor's Falls. So that's, important. People think of it like that, or there's a sculpture garden close to it.
Yes.
Growing up, I played an instrument all through my life, started with piano and then guitar. and we started with like things like hardcore metal, and then I did some rock stuff. Then I transitioned to do some R&B and neo soul bands and a little bit of jazz. But I was a lot of just kind of playing in other people's projects and doing other people's stuff, and really wanted to have a bigger voice in the creation and take some more of my own thoughts and sounds, but felt like I needed a partner to do that. And met Maygen on a gig that you were singing backup vocals for, right? And we did a couple.
Yeah, I was singing at a church out here. In the Minnetonka area.
We did a couple things, and then we're like, maybe we should work together, and that's what happened.
Excellent. Nice. And it's so wonderful that you two met, not just because it turns out that you make great music, but also, as you said, you were each looking for that other person to collaborate with and to create new music. So you were at the similar places kind of in your life when you met, which is, I think, so much of that creating a fruitful musical partnership. It has to do with timing, just like any other relationship. So, well, we're so glad that you found each other and started making music together. Now, Maygen, the first, again, you recorded some stuff under your own name, Maygen Lacey. And then what was the next iteration when you started making music with Noah? Did it become Maygen and the Birdwatcher right away?
Yeah, so it was a really difficult time to try to figure out because, like, at one point I was like over 1 million listeners per month or something on Spotify. And it was it was like a really cool and interesting thing that was happening to me and the songs that I was singing. But so I wanted to like make sure and get music out there using my name so that the people that liked what I was doing could still find it. But at the same time, like knowing that Noah and I were going to be doing something quite different from just what Maygen Lacey was doing, singing cover songs. So we tried to merge the two and have it be Maygen Lacey and the Birdwatchers, because we were hoping to, we'll get into that later. We were hoping to grow larger into a larger band than just the two of us. So we named us Maygen Lacey and the Birdwatchers until later we had to drop the S and whatever when we signed with the label. But so this album, this EP was recorded Maygen Lacey and the Birdwatchers, even though it was just the two of us.
Now, you sent a picture here of your very first gig, and I noticed if you look closely, it says Maygen Lacey and the Great Wave. So that was pre-bird-watching.
Oh, yes. Wow. God, we were so torn. We were so torn for a while. Yes.
Is that?
I was going to ask that too.
It's the place, like it's like west of the city. And
it's Waconia. It's Waconia, right?
It's Waconia.
Yeah.
Nice grill or something.
Yeah.
And like I totally talked us up. Like we were just like knew what we were doing, and you should pay us this much because it'll be great. And like we were reading lyrics off of a stand, and it was an interest. But yes, we were Maygen Lacey and the Great Wave for what, like a month, maybe, Noah?
A moment in time.
I don't know. Enough that like I decided to print a sign apparently. But
and what year was that? Was that first gig?
That was November of 2017. So we just started kind of playing out. But I don't think at that time we had any original music. We were just doing because I had done weddings, and then Noah, it's much, much easier to do weddings with Noah than try to just find random guitarists, because I was not great at guitar. So we started doing weddings, and then I think we did a lot of wedding songs at that first gig.
Probably.
Yeah. We've transitioned out of most of those. But we do still do weddings, but yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, if you just tuned in, we're talking with Maygen and the Birdwatcher, Maygen Lacey and Noah, aka the Birdwatcher, and we want to dig into some music. So what you picked to feature on today's show is your 2018 EP, and was this your debut recording?
Yes, that was the first works that we ever did together. We were just so excited to have original music that we were coming up with and excited about, and so pretty much recorded everything that we worked on, which was six songs.
6 songs. It was way more towards just straight folk and easy listening kind of sound. And we transitioned a little bit since then, but this is a little different than what we do today.
Awesome. Well, let's take a listen. I know folks are ready for music. I know I am. So the first track you picked to play is Time to Begin. Is there anything you want to say about this tune?
Yeah, I'd say looking back on it, it was exactly perfectly timed. I had taken a mom and daughter weekend with my mom out down in Florida, and I was writing on the beach and thinking about like, okay, what's this project with Noah going to look like, and what do I want to do musically? Like, I'm older than most people when they start their music career of like, writing original music and whatever. I have two small kids that are like 3 and 5 at this time, and I'm like, how do I want music to look in my life? What do I want to achieve? What's this going to look like? Well, let's just begin and, just take it, one day at a time. So that's kind of, it's the beginning of everything. So
sounds very appropriate.
Very appropriate. Yes.
Well, let's give it a listen. And we're going to kick off our Friday happy hour with Maygen and the Birdwatcher, Time to Begin, here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
Take me to sea, take me to sea. I wanna be buried in possibilities. Wind in my back, sun on my skin. Courage that I need is rising within. Wind in my back, sun on my skin. Everything telling me time to
Oh man, I need those beach sounds today. It's pretty chilly in the Twin Cities. I was warming up on the beach with you there, Maygen. Maygen and the Birdwatcher here on the Back Catalog Listening Party. Time to begin from their 2018 debut EP, The People We Don't Choose. And yeah, I'm loving the beach sounds of both in the beginning and end of the song. And also, I sounded like, I don't know if it was a fiddle or a cello, or maybe they're both on that track,
Mhm.
but there was this one part where it sounded just like a gull, like
Yeah.
which was pretty cool. So tell us about who is playing on the other instrumentalists beyond you, Maygen, and Noah.
So Alex Young did all the percussion for this album. He is a local drummer guy who plays with lots of amazing people. He's actually played with us recently, but he was just kind enough to fill in all the percussion for us from his home studio, and he actually used bird seed in a Tupperware for some of his like shaker
Nice.
sounds. That's kind of cool.
That's
And
very
then
cool.
yeah, and then the only other person we had was the strings player who was who I can't, what was his name, Megan? I don't even remember at this point.
Oh, Megan, I think you're muted there.
Hello.
Yeah.
I
Hi.
knew when I pressed mute, I was like, this is not going to come back off. I'm not going to remember. Okay. Yes. Jeez. Okay. Yes. Yoed Nur, I want to say. He's over in New York. He is a freelance guy who does fantastic strings, turns them around quickly, has really cool ideas. He's on Sound Better, so
he gave us like 2 fiddle and 2 cello for each song.
Right. Yes.
Wow.
I think that's
Different
right.
string arrangements that we could use, and yeah, so that was really nice to have that. And then the guy who produced it, Jeff. What's Jeff's last name?
Jeff Halland. Yes,
Halland.
he's
Yep,
kind of a mystery guy. He really is not online like at all. So I can't even find him anymore. But yes,
Oh, wow.
Jeff Halland.
He did auxiliary instruments, some bass, some other things like that, some pads. So yeah.
Yeah.
It did look like we had maybe some shots from the recording. Maybe that would be a good time to bring it up. I don't know if any of those folks are featured. It looks like you two here, and then I don't know who.
That's Jeff.
All right, so he might not live anywhere else on the internet, but he is now on the
There
Back
he
Catalog
is.
Listening Party on
He's
YouTube
real.
and in our show notes. For those of you who are just listening, we're showing some pictures here, and you could find at Back Catalog Listening Party /130.
And also, I was hearing some harmonies on that. Was that you, Maygen, singing those other parts?
Yeah, that's another thing that we've kind of grown differently in our band setup now as a 6-piece. But for this whole EP, it was really just Noah was guitar and I was vocals, and I did a lot of the same kind of harmony stuff that I did with some of my other solo stuff, which I still like to do, especially if there needs to be a girl part, like a girl harmony, higher or whatever. I still do that. But yeah, that was all me on this EP.
Wonderful. Well, so when you recorded this EP, these were the 6 songs that you had, or you had done together, and you were starting to perform these out. You must have had a pretty quick trajectory, because I mean, this was 2018, so it's only like 4 years ago. And so how did the band start to evolve from you being a duo to now being a 6-piece band?
Yeah, well, we wanted to change our sound a little bit since then. We wanted to add a little more variety, a little more grit. We added some more of those bluegrass sounds, and so we started to look for players. Part of it was just because that's the folks that we knew were more kind of versed in that sound, and that started 2019. Megan, is that true that we started adding people then?
Just Ethan and a little bit of Jesse. Nick didn't come until basically May of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
But I would add that we did play these songs out a handful of times, maybe 3-4 times.
Had some friends kind of just jump up and join us.
There's just something about in their own skin and their storytelling and their way that can deliver wonderful songs, solo and duo style. For me, I just really thrive on the energy of more bodies on stage, less people looking at just me, like I still have stage fright stuff. So like, I really enjoy having more people on stage. And so we just knew that we were not going to really get where we wanted with just the 2 of us. So yeah, that's pretty quickly we started adding adding people after this.
Now, when you were writing for like this record, it's just a duo at this point. How's the arrangement work with you two? Do you sit down and envision these parts and then contract, the folks that are on there, or how did the arrangements get built up beyond the two of you for this record?
Good
Noah?
question. Yeah, I think we did sit down and we had a conversation about what we wanted to sound like, what the directions we wanted it to go, but we were also relatively open to, so like the strings parts. We just kind of had a general idea. We wanted some string stuff, maybe things here or there, but wanted each of the players to be able to feel like they could kind of do their own thing in a sense where they could kind of, put their imprint on it. And I always have felt like that's better to give people not necessarily like less direction, but less, like to not narrow
Play
the scope.
this here,
much.
kind of a
Yeah.
thing, yeah.
So maybe there's like a couple things we really wanted to hear or come through, but more just like, here's the energy, here's the idea, here's the direction we're going. Now you tell me what that looks like to you.
And really your guitar playing really does a lot to give structure to a song anyways. And so like, especially with the songs on this album, like Time to Begin, Katie, stuff like that, Comeback, like if you just narrow it down to just guitar and vocals, they really stand alone anyways. I feel like Jeff only added a few things, and then Alex is just such a good drummer and percussionist and whatever that like whatever he did was going to be great. So it's just working with the right people, I guess.
And so Maygen, when you were most of these songs on this record ones that you wrote and then kind of arranged with Noah to figure out the arrangements, or did you guys co-write any of these together?
Most of these started with Noah playing guitar and then me writing lyrics and melody to what he came up with on guitar. Is that right, Noah, for all of these? Yeah, I think so.
Looking through them, yeah, I think most. I don't know. You may have had some ideas of lyrics in the past and adapted them. For the most part, it was I would just send to Maygen an idea, and she'd come up with something for it.
Neat.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very cool. Well, if you just tuned into the back catalog listening party, we're talking with Maygen and the Birdwatcher, Maygen Lacey and Noah, joining us today from both the west and east sides of the Mississippi River here in the Twin Cities. And if you have any comments or questions for the band, feel free to throw them in the comments because this is a conversation, and we want to get to as many questions as we can. And but we also want to get to as much music as we can. So let's get to the next song. The next tune you picked to feature on today's show is Black Sheep. What can you tell us about this song?
Oh, I was going to look at the lyrics of this really quick. I want to be sensitive about it because I want to be like somewhat vague. So
very personal songs. So
yeah, this one, my husband and I both have family members that struggle with addiction and alcoholism and all that kind of stuff that can be incredibly difficult on the people that are around or the family members that are around, seeing all that it can it just wreaks havoc everywhere. And so this was kind of a song that was kind of based around my husband and his relationship with his parents and kind of how life could have been, how no matter who your parents are, you're still connected, and there's no you without them. And so it's kind of embracing the fact that I came from where I came from, and I'm going to make what I can of my life despite where I came from, kind of a thing. And I'll just also add, my husband is like the smartest, coolest, most amazing person that I know, considering some of what he had to go through kind of in his childhood. So.
All right, well, let's give it a listen. This is Maygen and the Birdwatcher with Black Sheep here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
You said that you're better off dead, saying whatever you do, don't become me. Whatever you do, set yourself
All right, there are those strings again, sounding great.
Yeah, beautiful.
Maygen and the Birdwatcher here on the back catalog listening party with the song Black Sheep. And that is from their 2018 debut EP, The People We Don't Choose. And if you like what you hear, this is a great time to mention that you can get this album. It's available on all the streaming services, but it's Bandcamp Friday, which means 100% of all the sales on Bandcamp go directly to the artist. So this is a great time to buy it directly from Maygen the Birdwatcher on Bandcamp. And if you want a CD copy, I think they still have some. So you can just write a little note right in the sale and send $15 and they will send you a copy as well as that digital copy of the album.
Yep. And you can also
Absolutely.
just send it directly to their PayPal or Venmo.
Mhm.
And I should add that if you do get the digital version, Bandcamp has this great feature where you can pay more than they're asking.
Mhm.
Ooh,
And-
that is a
and-
nice
get the album.
feature.
And I think I
Yes.
noticed that that there's they're not asking that much for this EP.
It's true. It's
So,
$5.
yeah, so you should add throw in another $20-$30, put your home address in there, and she'll send you one. You said there was just a few copies left, so this is kind of a collector's item now.
Yeah, we really only printed so many, and I just don't know. I don't know that we're going to print anymore, with the thing to just kind of keep it where it was in that point of our lives, our musical life.
And if you're looking for it on any other services beyond Bandcamp, if you search under Maygen and the Birdwatcher, you'll find it. I know we've talked about all the different band names that they've recorded under, but Maygen and the Birdwatcher, everything should be there. So if you're looking, whether it's their new album or this EP that we're revisiting today, you should be able to find it. But you do want the high res audio files because it's way better than what you're probably hearing go through the YouTube. So
Yeah.
you can check that out there. And Becky Schlegel, one of our past guests, chiming in to say a beautiful song, and I agree.
Thanks, Becky.
And probably the last time I saw all of you was in person was probably at the August Bluegrass Festival where we all were there, although we weren't all there at the same time. But luckily I got to see you guys perform at the underground stage, did a great set. And Tim was chiming in on the comments saying how much he enjoyed seeing you guys live and what a great energy you have. And I would second that. So
Thanks,
if
Tim.
folks are looking to see Maygen and the Birdwatcher live, you can go to their website and check out all their tour dates. You can sign up to get on their email list and get alerted about shows. But they will be playing for Twin Cities folks. I know we have a bunch of Twin Cities folks tuned in today. They'll be playing at Reader Homestead, which is an amazing concert series out in Delano, so the Western Metro. Really great listening space to hear artists. So you can check that out. But they'll also be playing all over Wisconsin, it looks like, coming up in October. So check out their tour dates there. And
Yes.
I also want to mention that Back Catalog Listening Party is brought to you by one of our sponsors, is a Homestead Pick and Parlor. So if you are inspired by today's show and you want to pick up an acoustic instrument or pick up some albums and fuel that fire for acoustic music, you can check them out. They're in Richfield, Minnesota, but they're also online as well. And we'll throw a link in the comments here on the show. But you mentioned that you wanted to add more instruments. And so as you sort of built quickly when you were starting to build this band, and so you were adding, obviously you can hear where fiddle would come in because you hear those parts on these recordings. But when you started adding other instruments, did you start playing these songs? And did the arrangements change pretty quickly once you added those extra players?
The only two that we've really held on to is Wild Card and then the occasional comeback if it's the right setting. Typically, and it might be more me than Noah and the rest of the guys, but like I really don't like to play too many like downer songs or like songs that make people kind of go from like, yay, this is fun, to like, oh, I have to like think about these sad lyrics or anything like that. So this EP we've really only stuck with we've only kept kind of playing two of them. Although Noah, I keep saying we should do Time to Begin. That's a fun one. But yeah, why don't you touch on that as far as like Nick and Banjo and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff?
Arrangements we try to keep pretty close to what they are. Obviously, though, we're adding banjo, we're adding upright bass, sometimes mandolin, and that's just going to change. Luckily, our players are all very, very talented and good and smart enough to kind of know where that should fit in and how to kind of play with that. So if it's more of that kind of traditional banjo sound where it's rolling and stuff like that, he's good at putting that in. But also on these songs, doesn't have that sound as much. They're very good at finding those places to add those instruments without trying to drag it too close to what you would consider like a traditional banjo or mandolin. Like a song off a more recent song that we put out, Antidote, has kind of has some of the sound of this album where we have mando and banjo playing those more kind of intimate styles. So.
Yeah, when we do comeback, I think, or maybe even wildcard, or maybe just comeback. Doesn't Nick do dobro on that, or some kind of?
Yeah, either way, the banjo player either plays banjo or dobro, but I know he's done both. So
yeah,
excellent.
Yeah, and so there was a photo of you guys playing live, and is this sort of the general instrumentation that you've been having with the band these days?
Yes,
those are the main members. So the mandolin player will also play fiddle, and the banjo player will also play electric guitar or dobro.
Excellent.
Yeah,
wonderful.
That's like a team. This is our full-on show with drums and everything, kind of a setup right there for sure.
Peter's on drums, hiding in the back. So
he is.
Nice.
Wonderful. Well, Joni says gorgeous, and I would agree. We're definitely going to get to some more tunes. I do want to ask though, Noah, how did you end up being the Birdwatcher? Like, where did the name come from? Are you actually a birdwatching guy?
I am a bird watching guy. I am a big bird nerd, and it felt easy enough to just kind of rope that in and be that. Not that I know we're making the Birdwatcher. I don't like ever go by the Birdwatcher to anybody, but in the band I am.
except in like every interview, it's true. They're like, you're the bird. I mean, you have to kind of choice. You are embrace it. Just embrace it.
I know.
Yeah, well,
we just. What's that?
Oh, go ahead. I was going to say, if it really is part of your background, I think that's fantastic.
That's true. And it is. And we just felt like, we were like, oh, how do you make a band name? How do you wrap in Megan's name, but make sure that it's still an original thing? And we just thought, Birdwatcher is a cool idea.
It's much better than a Megan and Noah.
Megan and Noah. I know that's the thing. It's like, what are we going to be, Megan Lacey and Noah Newman? That's not great. So we thought Maygen The Birdwatcher, it flows well. I love birds. Birds aren't going to watch themselves, so someone has to. So
that's right. That's right.
Exactly.
I also love that you're talking about the trials of naming a band, because Tony and I both been through this as well. It's no small feat. I don't think people understand exactly how hard it is, especially in this day and age, to come up with a fresh band name, because a lot of great ideas have also been taken. You Google and you're like, oh man,
that domain is taken, right?
Exactly.
And you look now, and like half the popular artists have like numbers in their name and like weird random symbols, and it's because they kind of have to, they kind of have to these days. So.
I like now too, like a lot of like the younger folks coming out making bands, they just don't care about the names, so they're like hot lasagna or stale bread or something like that. Just who cares?
Well, speaking of birds, I do want to touch on this album art. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. It looks like it's not just a digital piece of art. Can you talk a little bit about this artwork?
Yep, a friend of mine, a terrific artist named Eli Balbach, he did it. I asked him. He's definitely he likes to use a lot of mixed media, likes to use lots of different things. So he started with canvas and added. I can't remember all the materials in there, but you can kind of see. Looks like a phone cords in there. I know he used some some string and things like that. Try to just make a interpretation of birds on a wire. So
that's gorgeous.
Very cool.
There was I think I sent some pictures of like some different levels of Noah. You had sent me some pictures as he was working on it, like throughout the weeks or whatever, of like, this is where he's at now. And I was thinking like, what is this gonna look like? This is so different, and so it's pretty cool to just kind of watch the layers of paint and such kind of evolve.
Yeah.
Again, this is a situation where we had kind of said, here's the idea of something we want. Go ahead and go for it and figure something out. We didn't want to put too much of like a lane on him, and he just did this. So we thought it was great.
Yeah.
Great. For those who are just
Definitely.
listening, we're kind of cycling through some kind of maybe early iterations of the artwork. We'll post these at our website, backcataloglistingparty.com/130.
That's right. And we are on our 130th episode here on the Back Catalog Listening Party, and which has been so much fun and a great way to reconnect with so many artists. And if folks want to connect with you, again, they can go to your website and, again, find you on Bandcamp today. But let's get into more music. And you mentioned Comeback. And so this is one of the songs that you say you sometimes still play live with your current band.
Yes. If we're going to do a more intimate feel, oh, that's my dog. If we're
I
going
can
to do,
talk if you want.
No, it's all good.
Yeah.
Now it's complete, right? We need some either a naked kid running past or a dog or a cat
Yeah,
butt.
we always joke that that's Back Catalog Listening Party bingo. It's like, okay, one pet has made an appearance. Check. Yeah, exactly.
that's funny.
Mhm.
But yeah, so this one was, if we're going to do like a more intimate show, like we're planning on doing it for the Reader Homestead, because it's just an attentive listening audience that can hear the lyrics, because the lyrics matter, so we'll play it sometimes. It's not very often that we play it, but I really enjoy when we do.
Yep.
So.
We just did it at the Lakewood Cemetery this summer, and that was awesome.
That was amazing. Playing in the Lakewood Chapel was a really, really moving, beautiful show for sure. This one has to do again with my side of things and family members that struggle with addiction, and just how difficult it can be, but also that there's always light at the end of the tunnel and you can always turn it around. And thank God, so thank goodness. And so it was just a moment where Noah sent me a song. And we were thinking, okay, well, it's going to be a happy, kind of cool, summery song. But then I was just kind of hit with a big dose of, life and difficult stuff going on. And so I wrote lyrics to what he had written on guitar, and it just kind of came out like this.
Excellent. Let's give it a listen. This is Maygen and the Birdwatcher, Comeback, here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
I love you, I always will. I need you today, but you're deep into all these pills, so the one that I need is long gone away. It consumes me, my heart is ill, I long for the day when you're free from all these pills, and the one that I love comes back to stay. Trying to write a happy song with a heavy heart, it's like trying to shoot an arrow in the dark, dark, dark. My aim is strong and true, and I'm well intended, but I can't seem to figure out what's the right direction. What is the right direction? I love you, I always will. I need you today, but you're deep into all these pills, so the one that I need is long gone away. Trying to write a happy song with a heavy heart, it's like trying to shoot an arrow in the dark, the dark. You're living life so carelessly. I'm hoping one day you'll see it's never too late to turn it around. This is your comeback. Find your way through the forest. say, hey, it's me. Sorry I was gone a while.
Maygen and the Birdwatcher here on the Back Catalog Listening Party with Comeback from their 2018 debut EP, The People We Don't Choose. And folks really loving the sound of that song.
Beautiful.
Joni and
Yes.
Pete and Melinda.
Mhm.
Yeah, really, really great. And when that percussion comes in, it just really lifts.
Yeah.
And again, it has that sort of that optimism, that hope for something better, which I think is really exemplified in the music,
Mhm.
which is really great. Yeah, tell us a little bit about the percussion in that, and
Super
who was doing
tasty.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's Alex Young, a local guy. He did all the work for us, which is great. First of all, shout out to Peter Anderson, who is in the comments right now, who is our drummer. Peter, hi, how you doing? Good to see you. Glad you're here.
Yay.
He also plays the song very well. But yeah, Alex Young did the album with us, and yeah, it's great because I love that he's just kind of doing a little bit here. Then when it starts to rise, he adds more of that tom sound, and it's pretty chill until that very, very end where it's that big crescendo of action going on. So
Wonderful.
mhm.
And I should also mention that I'm guessing is so Peter Anderson, who's again joining us in on the comments, who's your current drummer, is he
Mhm.
featured on your new record, Moonshine?
He is.
Okay.
Yep.
And if folks want to again get any of the new music or the album we are revisiting today on the Back Catalog Listening Party, you can go to Bandcamp again today, or to their website as well. But today all the sales go directly to artists, and of course, so this is a great time to support them. So to fuel their next project, and maybe this is a good time to ask, what are you working on now? I know you've been super busy this last year and a half. It felt like, you put out a record, then you put out a few singles, and now I think there's a new EP on the way. Is that right?
Yeah, I wanted to add to your Bandcamp Friday thing today only. So we have an EP coming out called Bootlegging at the Flower Shop. We've released some singles off of it. He Ain't Me is such a fun song. We have a YouTube video out for that one. Take It to the Garden. So some of our singles that we recently came out with are on this EP. It doesn't come out until next week, but today, since it's Bandcamp Friday and we're talking to you guys and whoever's on the stream, we put it up on our Bandcamp as well.
No way.
I'm going
All
to take
right.
it back down after today until the actual release date of the 14th. But today I do have the physical version up that we will mail out to you, and it really is a bootleg because we've got a song on there that we weren't able to get a license for, but we had printed them already. So yeah.
So if you buy the physical, you do get one extra song that's not currently out anywhere. So there you go.
And they can do that on the Bandcamp site as well?
Yes. I think
Excellent.
there's only we only have 50 out of the 150 left, and then when those are gone, we're not gonna print any more of those ones. So
exclusive, Back Catalog Listening Party exclusive, folks. You got to jump on this.
Yeah.
This is hotter than Bitcoin here,
exactly.
And worth more too.
and worth a heck of a lot more.
Yes, indeed. Well, thank you all for joining us today on the Back Catalog Listening Party. If folks out there have any additional comments or questions for Maygen or Noah, make sure to throw them in there so we get to them before the end of today's show. But let's get to this next song. Katie, is there anything you want to say about this before we take a listen?
Oh my gosh, Katie. I would like to give myself some credit for percussion on this too, because I was rapping pencils and random things on this. You'll hear the percussion is pretty different. So
wait,
yeah,
I want to hear more about this. So wait, this is found sounds kind of stuff. You just tell me more.
Kind of. I mean, Alex did a great job, but I was probably very Alex, do as many weird knocking whatever kind of interesting sounds. I just hear so many different percussive things happening in this. So he really messed around with it a lot and probably thought I was totally crazy, but I really am happy with how it came out. It's how I heard it in my head. It's more of it's not an aggressive song, but it just has to do with a relationship that I had for a bit there where
not all friendships and working relationships and everything like work out how you think. And this person was just needed a song written about them. And when Noah came up with some guitar, I was like, oh yeah, this is the one to kind of let her have it. So that's kind of where we're at.
So you were throwing percussion around, working out
Yes.
some of those
Yes.
emotions. Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Very good
fantastic.
therapy.
Well, all right. Let's give it a listen. This is Maygen and the Birdwatcher, Katie here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
You live a life, the most fortunate life that your man sits back and allows. You don't even care if he's happy or not, 'cause you only care about how much can he give me, how much can I take? Isn't that what life's all about? Well, when your time comes, well, I hope that you're ready, 'cause it seems that your life's about Katie. Katie. Katie, can't you see? What about me? If you're really digging deep, is this who you wanna be? I've tried and I've tried, but you're gonna end up alone. You'll be twiddling thumbs on your lonely Katie throne. Now she's quite a vision of cunning and power that leads to believe that she really cares. Makes you feel good till you question that power, then watch as she sees but the need to declare you're just a pawn in the Katie game, and she never needed you to be part of her or anything, 'cause you are nothing, and all that ever matters is Katie, Katie. Katie, can't you see? What about me? If you're really digging deep, is this who you wanna be? Oh, I've tried, but you're gonna end up alone. You'll be twiddling thumbs on your lonely Katie throne. You're beautiful. You're beautiful and charming. You're beautiful. You're beautiful and charming. You're beautiful. You're beautiful and charming. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful, beautiful. But Katie, can't you see? What about me? If you're really digging deep, this is who you wanna be. I've tried and I've tried, but I'm better off on my own. You'll be tired and alone. You'll be tired and alone on your wicked, wicked, wicked Katie throne.
All right. Maygen and the Birdwatcher with Katie from their 2018 debut EP, The People We Don't Choose. And Chris, Jetner had a question. Do you guys self-produce albums or do you have a trusted engineer? I know this one you recorded with someone. Since then, do you kind of produce yourselves? Have you worked with other people?
The last two we've worked at Flower Studio, and Chris Johnson was the engineer on that one, and he's great. He doesn't, I don't think, fancy himself as like a producer, but he's very, very good with all the technical things, all the sound design and things like that. So, yep, we've skipped around or jumped around a little bit, but we've enjoyed doing the last two at Flowers.
Excellent. Wonderful. Well, I love the sounds that you got on that that last song. And Megan, I'm going to ask you to unmute so that if possible, so because I want to
You really threw it at her, man.
Bless you.
Yeah.
Bless you.
all that, because I could hear what you were talking about. It was on all the like kind of offbeats. You're hearing where the drums weren't playing. You were like hitting stuff and shaking stuff. And for folks who haven't seen Maygen and the Birdwatcher live, usually when you're there with the band, you're often doing a lot of percussive stuff on stage with shakers and tambourines and stuff. And so you're no slouch with the percussion. But tell us if you remember the different items that made those sounds. I'd love to hear that.
Definitely a couple of pencils. I have a go-to thing that has been with me for many, many years. And these have a nickname, but I'll let you go ahead and just.
Yep.
So they're my.
Does anyone know the technical name of that percussive instrument?
Yes. Or if anybody wants to guess, you can throw it in the
comments.
Throw
it in the
might
comments.
Ban us, but it's okay.
And Pete Anderson might know because he's a drummer, so he might know.
True.
But I know they were made in Africa. There's actually flattened bottle caps inside here. And this was definitely on Katie, which kind of started my love affair with just the sound of they're just crunchy and I just love the way that they sound. So that and pencils on like my desk and like random lamp shit. I don't know. It was just
anything goes.
Yeah.
Well, that's the beauty of recording. Okay. And Pete Anderson says balls on the set list.
Yes, that's the nickname. Thank you, Pete.
Thanks, Pete.
They're the balls. It's true.
So apparently that's the technical term, says the drummer. Anyway, well, I hate to end with balls, but this has been such a great hour of conversation and music, and folks are loving the music. And again, if you want to pick up this EP, you can do it on Bandcamp. Again, today they get 100% of the sales, and today you can also pick up that EP that's only physical copies, and there's only a few copies left, so this is your chance to get it. So go over to Bandcamp, support Maygen and the Birdwatcher, and also throw in a little extra for their tip jar. And Maygen and Noah, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been such a treat to revisit this record.
A lot of fun, you guys. Thank you. Great
Good
music.
stuff for sure. Thank you.
It is
for what you do. It's been super fun to watch your shows with other people as well. It's been super cool.
Oh, thank you so much. And it's this show is a labor of love. And Joni says, no, can't believe it's over. Great music show. This is the Tony and I say it every week, and we're never lying. This is the best hour of our week because we get to reconnect with musicians and music fans. And so thanks to all of you out there listening and tuned in who've been making comments. And if you like the show, like it on YouTube and direct more bots to Maygen and the Birdwatcher. And also you can subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already, because we do this every Friday at 4, not every Friday talking with Maygen and the Birdwatcher, but with other great musicians. And next week we have the Lowest Pair joining us, which we're pretty excited about. So that will be a lot of fun. So you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. And also we want to thank all the folks who are part of our Patreon community. These are the people that have supported the show and kept us going through 130 episodes.
130.
What?
Yeah, I know.
How does that happen?
That's crazy.
Penny, Anna, Linda, Bevan, Connie, Vaughn, Alan, Chris, Alex, Becky, Galen, Peggy, Joe, Jim, Beverly, and John, Fred, Tim, Sarah, David, Jocelyn, Court, Matt, Steve, Mark, Homestead Pick and Parlor, Severin, Lynn, Craig, Jake, Mary, Many Tracks, and Nikki, and maybe you. If you want to support us, you can go join our Patreon, and you can be a part of exclusive private chats throughout the week about music, and also we have after parties and
VIP
Zoom concerts. Yeah, all
We
kinds.
just launched a private Discord community which is new for me, old man Anthony over here trying to figure out Discord. But it's a great platform for hanging out and nerding out about all things music and audio and everything like that. And
Which
so I
is
can't
really
wait to-
which is really what we should call our Patreon community, the Music Nerd Hangout. It's like
Yeah.
the Music Nerd Clubhouse is pretty much what it is. So if you want to be a music nerd with us, you can, again, join us every Friday for the show. And if you want that deeper level, you can join the Patreon as well. But mainly, thank you for being here, because this is what it's all about. Enjoying music, talking about it, and celebrating some of the great artists who are making it. So Maygen and the Birdwatcher, Maygen and Noah, thank you so much for joining us today on Back Catalog Listening Party.
Yeah, we really appreciate your time and what you're doing. We're looking forward to the new material that's coming out. Yeah, I'll just second what Ellen said. We wouldn't do this if you didn't show up every week. So we want to thank all of you for being here and for hanging out and supporting indie music. And we'll see you next week here on the Back Catalog Listening Party. Cheers.
Cheers. Happy weekend.
Cheers.
Thank you. Bye.